Okay, Barend, today we're going to talk about the interview, a
Yes.
topic that every recruiter probably sees as one of their main responsibilities and activities in their workday. And we're going to talk about how AI can bring a renewed focus on the candidate when it comes to interviewing. Because there's a lot of hassle and work around interviews that is probably not necessary anymore because of AI. So
Absolutely.
we talked earlier about blessings and curses of AI in the context of recruiting, but in interviewing, we can definitely say this is full of blessings, right?
I think interviewing is the one thing in recruitment where AI will never fully automate it or take it over, but where AI will really only make it better. Better for the
Yeah.
applicant, better for the recruiter, and better for the outcome of the hiring process. So I think, we talked about this a lot. And that's also why we started with interviewing in building the company we're building right now. So
Yeah.
definitely.
Can you speak about the problems that you face in the current interviewing process and where AI can make an improvement there?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at a lot of interviews today, like, is it really about the candidate? Is it really the conversation that the recruiter wants to have with the candidate, or is it more about collecting information? I mean, we looked at a lot of recruitment processes in the last year to analyze what's happening, and I don't know if it comes across, but it often is like this, right? Like, you hear the typing in the background. People ask questions. You know that the recruiter is typing something, but you also know as a candidate, he doesn't really care. So step
Can you
one
do that
is
one more time? Can you do that one more
yes,
time? One more
absolutely.
time?
You like to make fun of me, yeah? It's not a problem. This
I
is the
do.
average. This
I
is the
do.
average recruiter today. Yes, interesting. Yes, yes. We all know what's happening, right? We have this interview. Candidate is asking
We're not
questions,
going
but
to
it's
cut
not
this out.
about.
We're not going to cut this out. We're not going to cut this out.
You're not. I don't. Leave it in. It's the truth. This is what's happening in the interview. People are typing. People are
Thank you
collecting
so much,
data.
Darren. Thank you. Thanks for the context. I love it.
All right, now let's be serious again. I think we don't need to
Yeah.
talk about this problem anymore. It's
No.
clear. It's not only annoying, it removes the real connection that should happen in an interview. So that's step one. AI will take over all the note taking. That's just a no-brainer. AI
Yeah.
will capture the full meeting. AI will make sure that nothing gets lost, so you can be present in the meeting. So that's, I think, step one. Another pragmatic example is after the meeting, creating the documents, doing all the admin follow-up. Every recruiter we talk to, they hate admin work. So let's just automate it. Let's AI do it. So I think these are two pragmatic examples of AI doing things that humans shouldn't be doing from the start.
Yeah. I think if you zoom out, then what a recruiter is doing in many cases is nothing else than having a conversation with a candidate, and that information needs to be documented somewhere. And the thing we do is we document it first in the conversation. After a meeting, we go to a system, an ATS or a CRM, and that information needs to be pushed into that system. And then we need to do something with that information, bring it to a hiring manager, creating a candidate report or a profile. And there's all these steps of like literally just making sure that information doesn't get lost because of this unstructured type of information that a meeting is, an exchange between two people. And that is where AI can play a huge role, right?
It will take it over. It's gone. It's just not happening anymore. And this was not possible 2-3 years ago. So this is really a new capability where information just will never get lost.
Yeah. So what this means is instead of me attending an interview, typing all the time, I'm present in the meeting, I'm present with the candidate. When the meeting ends, I don't need to do anything admin related. I don't need to create job descriptions. I don't need to create candidate profiles. I don't need to write reports or like a great candidate presentation document for my client, I just tell my colleague, in this case the AI, make sure that you execute these tasks for me when we are having this conversation, and I will focus on the human. So this means that in many jobs and in many job families, AI will actually replace humans. But I think in recruiting, it's fair to say that AI can actually bring back the human element.
It will set us free if you want to make it dramatic, and it's I think it's true. I think in the last decades, recruitment turned into a admin process where the process was more important than the outcome, and that will change now.
Yeah.
The human can let go of the process will happen. It's okay. The human can focus on the thing that should be the center of the universe in the recruitment, and that's the candidate. But I
Yeah.
think, and now you're only talking about data that is captured because it was already captured, right? Filling in the
Yeah.
ATS, creating the document. But the other thing will happen is that this new AI recruiter that joins you on your daily work will also memorize the things that normally you would forget and that would not land in the ATS. So that
Yeah.
will create a complete new layer that will enable personal connections and personal touch in the recruitment process that is just unimaginable in the old reality.
Yeah. And I do believe, and I also speak to clients about this, that it changes the way you connect with a candidate, because you don't need to think, did I ask this? Did I ask that? Did I write this down? Did I do this well? It actually allows you to really focus on the person. And I think that's also how recruitment and how interviews should be, right?
Yeah.
Because if you zoom out and you think about um, what is this AI and human synergy bringing? I think it actually brings the recruiter to focus on what the human should do, the human element and personal connection, relationship building, and that will make you a better recruiter. That will set you apart. Not the fact that you can write stuff down and that you can write things in an ATS and that you can literally make that you can push information to clients. That is something that everything and everyone can do. That's not what makes you unique as an organization or as a recruiter.
But it will also be challenging, because a lot of people that became recruiters were really good at the tasks that are not
Yeah,
needed anymore. And now the human skills starts to play a role. So that's also maybe for some recruiters a reason not to like their job anymore. It's like, yeah, ask
absolutely.
yourself the question: what do you like about the role you're doing today?
Absolutely. No, we have this literally this example where we work for one for a large temp agency, and the recruiting manager there said, when I hire people, I literally look if they're process driven, and I don't actually. They can be great personal human like connectors, but you make a difference with being an executor in the process and being fast with that. That is something that will really change, and that will impact recruiters, that will impact candidates, and will impact clients.
And it will make it more interesting.
Yeah, and what I actually like the most about it is that we speak a lot about these different type of topics and different steps in the recruiting journey, and we talked about sourcing, about talent pooling, like things that you can see already that technology and AI will be so advanced in the years to come that it will fundamentally change the process. But the fun part about the interview is that it is here today. This is something that's the most easy and for me the most like low barrier process to start um, adopting in the organization.
There's another reason why interviews for us are a real good starting point. Interviews are around unstructured data, and they should be. An interview should not be a fixed line of questions. It should be a flow that you have where you engage with the candidate and show real interest. And that's the cool
Yeah,
thing about AI. Language model can handle unstructured data. So it doesn't care if you talk about the cat, the dog, the last holiday, or whatever. AI will get the essence out of it and will make sure it never gets lost. So, yeah, also from a
yeah,
technical perspective, interviews are really, really,
yeah.
really good.
So, Barend, I think the conclusion is that AI will drive a renewed focus on the candidate during the interviewing process, but also post-interviewing process. All the tasks that the human shouldn't do can be delegated to AI. And the tasks that are your core task in the interview, relationship building, building connection with the candidate, finding out what are the motivations, do people want to move, yes or no, that is something that the human should do. And it's actually the only thing that the human should do during the interview. All the distractions can be delegated to AI.
I think that's a fair conclusion. Let me take a note.
Yeah, and no more typing. Okay, Baron, thanks.
See you next time.